Namaste and Siddhi Pranam. Welcome to your today's topic, which is physiological and emotional changes during the third trimester. So let's dive into the journey for third trimester. So the third trimester of pregnancy typically begins around 29th week of pregnancy, which is the start of the 6th month, and it lasts until the end of the pregnancy, which is around 40 weeks or 9 months. So during this time, the pregnant woman's body undergoes significant changes as it really prepares the mother for the childbirth. So at the start of the third trimester, the baby weighs around 2.2 pounds or around 1 kg and is approximately size of 14.8 inches, that is around 37.6 centimeter long. And by the end of third trimester, the baby can weigh anywhere between 5.5 to 9 pounds, that is around 2.5 to 4 kg. And the baby can be around 20 inches in length, which is 50 centimeter approximately. So the baby's organs continue to mature during this time, and they develop the ability to hear, see, and taste. So the major physical changes that occurs in the mother's body during the third trimester of pregnancy can be a lot. And so let's dive into what kind of changes and how they impact the mother's body. So one of the common change that happens during the third trimester is decreased energy and fatigue. So during the third trimester, the body is working really hard to prepare for the childbirth, and as the baby is also growing, so it begins to take a lot more space in the uterus, and it can lead to feelings of fatigue and decreased energy. And this can make more challenging for the mother to engage into physical activity, and that also includes yoga. So what we can do in this phase is really encourage the mothers to listen to their body more and practice more of restorative poses and gentle stretching postures, and also do more of relaxation postures to conserve energy at this point in time. We can also encourage mothers to take more breaks and modify the practice whenever needed to support their changing body. Now, frequent urination as it started more in the second trimester, but it continues to, the number of urination increases a lot more during the third trimester. So as the baby takes up more space in the uterus, it can put a lot more pressure on the urinary bladder for mother, and that leads to frequent urination. And this can be a lot really uncomfortable and for the mothers, and this might also mean that when she's part of your yoga class, she might also need to pee a lot more as comparatively to any other students. So she would need her time with this inside of yoga class also. So as teachers, what we can do is really encourage mother to use bathroom in the beginning of the practice, and also she should be very comfortable to take breaks whenever needed, and that's what we should encourage in the class also. And we can also modify postures that puts too much pressure on the abdomen in any manner, and focus on just practicing gentle hip hop opening poses that can help elevate any kind of discomfort in that particular area. Now, mother also continues to gain weight during the third trimester, and as the baby continues to grow, so this is expected, and this can affect the balance and the stability for the mom, especially during yoga practice. So what we can encourage at this point in time is to keep focusing on building strength and stability, and focusing on standing poses and balancing poses here. This can help support mom's body during this time and prepare her for upcoming birth also. We also have to encourage any modification if needed, and also remind the mothers that their body are fragile at this point in time, and they really need to listen to the bodies and practice at their own pace. Also, at one side, we want to practice hip opening asana, we want to practice balancing asana, But on the other side, we don't want to overexert them at any point in time because they are already lacking energy. So just maintaining a right balance inside a class where we are gently shifting from posture to posture and maintaining that balance where we are giving enough rest and not stand like we are not practicing standing postures for too long. So holding periods become quite lesser inside the asana, and the shift is also not rapid ever. So just moving slow is the key to practice specifically in the third trimester. Now, vaginal discharge is another body symptoms that also happens during this phase as the body is preparing for the childbirth. So vaginal discharge may increase. So this is normal, but it's really important that the mother needs to maintain a good hygiene and wear comfortable, breathable clothing. So we can really encourage mothers to wear cotton underwears or cotton clothing and practice good hygiene habits during this time, also to avoid any kind of UTI infections. Now, difficulty balancing is another factor at this point in time as the baby is growing and taking more space in the uterus, and the center of gravity continues to shift, so which is making it more difficult for the mothers to maintain a balance. So what we can do is once again focusing on the balancing postures for mothers like warrior postures, tree pose, triangle poses, etc. But while ensuring safety and stability. Now, constipation can become a very common issue at this point in time as, the uterus is squeezing a lot, many organs, including intestine. So constipation becomes quite common. So what we can encourage mothers at this point in time is to stay hydrated, have the diet which is high in fiber, and practice yoga postures which promote digestion and elimination, and also, continue to do walking. If there are days when they can't practice yoga, maybe they choose to practice yoga only twice or thrice a week, but other days they need to stay active, so they should do at least in the third trimester, the recommended steps are still around anywhere between 3,000 to 7,000, 8,000 steps per day, whatever women can achieve based on their personalized health. But walking is the key, staying active is the key to keep having a better digestive system, to even avoid any kind of swelling and edema. So all that can be relieved if they continue to do gentle walks throughout their pregnancy. And it's no different even in the third trimester. Now, difficulty sleeping continues here in the third trimester also as the baby is taking more and more space in the abdomen, and mother can completely feel the presence of the baby. All the movements can be felt at this point in time, and she's not allowed to sleep on her back due to for avoiding any pressure on the vena cava nerve. So sleeping position has to change, and she usually is suggested by the doctors to sleep on her left hand side with a pillow. So what we can really help her or encourage her is to use proper props while sleeping, maybe bolsters or rest, or there are pregnancy pillows these days. All that can be used. And other tips for having a better sleep I discussed in the second trimester video also, that can also be applied at the same time. That was mainly focusing on creating a good environment for sleeping. Now, baby movements can also be felt very strongly at this point in time as the baby is growing rapidly, and the movements are more rapid and often. So this can be both beautiful and powerful experience at the same time, and it's really important to encourage the mothers to keep listening to their bodies and honoring their physical and emotional needs during this time, and do as per their need, whether that's activity or anything that they're engaging into, just keeping to keep listening to their body and honoring their body at this point in time. Now, the breast also continue to enlarge at this point in time as the breast or the body is preparing for breastfeeding. So breasts continue to enlarge such that it can accommodate more milk. Now, so this can actually cause discomfort and might require use of supportive bra during a yoga practice. So we can encourage the mothers to use bra and modified postures if needed to ensure any comfort or support required in this aspect. Heartburn is and indigestion is also very common at this point in time. As the uterus expands, it can put pressure on the stomach and can lead to heartburn and indigestion. And so what we can really do here is once again focus on helping mothers to continue to walk every day, continue to use any digestion, continue to have high fiber diet, and also eliminate digestive supportive asanas, maybe like half Pavanmuktasana, etc., which will really help her release any things, release and eliminate more often. And headaches and occasional faintness can also be experienced in the third trimester as the mother's body is really working hard to prepare for the childbirth. So mother can experience headache and occasional faintness. So what we can encourage mothers is to stay hydrated and practice more of restorative poses once again here can really help, and avoid any intense physical activity. Gum bleeding is another common issue, and also increased appetite. So as the mothers can experience bleeding gums, so dental care again remains a very crucial point even during the third trimester. For as to increased appetite, so what we need is that that mothers do eat good amount of food, but they are ensuring that they are taking all those calories from nutrition dense foods. So that remains as key to maintaining fulfilling that appetite, but in a good manner. Now, what also happens is that, especially in the last month of pregnancy, that even though the appetite may increase, but the baby is taking different position and it's changing position in the abdomen a lot, and the baby size also is compressing the intestine. So the mother either might want to eat in like a smaller chunks so that she can digest well, because if she takes large meals, then that can also disrupt her system or cause more heartburn or indigestion. So it's always ideal to have small meals but frequent meals. And for some women, the appetite may also decrease at times because of lots of squeezing into the intestine and disturbed digestive system, which is fine, but they need to continue to, keep eating well during the last month also. So having smaller portion meals, but in high frequency, can be a great idea for those mothers also who are experiencing decrease of appetite, but they also require to feed the baby and themselves also. So now fluid retention can also occur at this point in time, as it was the case in second trimester, so which is also a common issue in third trimester. So we can always do asanas that promotes more circulation in the legs, and maybe practice like Vipreet Tripani, where we can put the legs up on the wall pose, and we can avoid standing for too much extended periods. This can help with fluid retention. Now, let's dive into the physical changes in the baby during the third trimester. So, the third trimester of pregnancies can be marked by final stages of baby's growth and preparation for the birth. So, during this phase, the baby experiences many changes and development as they are getting ready to enter to the world. So the first key aspect in the physical growth is, by the end of third trimester, baby experiences a lot of weight gain as well as the size gain. And the average weight might range around 5 to 9 pounds, and the length it can be around 18 to 22 inches. And the baby's body systems, which have been developing throughout the pregnancy, can become more refined and ready for independent functioning. Now, other major changes in the positioning of the baby. So during the third trimester, the baby often settles into the head down position in the preparation for the birth. So this is also known as vortex position, and it's most favorable for a smooth delivery. However, some babies might remain in a breech or transverse position. That means the head is not towards the vaginal opening, but the other way around, the head is towards the breast, which is called breech or transverse position. And in this case of breech babies, we might require to have a medical intervention or attention. And in most breech baby cases, the babies are born through C-section or cesarean. Now, another great development during this time is brain and nervous system, and the baby's brain continues to develop with the focus on refining neural connections and building essential brain structures. The nervous system becomes more advanced at this stage and allows the babies to regulate their basic bodily function. So let's look into the vital facts for baby's growth in the third trimester by week. So by week 32, the fetus or the baby reaches approximately 16 to 18 inches in length and weighs around 4 to 5 pounds. And at this stage, the baby's organs are nearly fully developed, and they start to build more fat for insulation and energy reserve. By week 36, the baby grows to about 18 to 20 inches and weighs around 6 to 7 pounds. And the baby's lungs are maturing rapidly and preparing for its first breaths after birth. The immune system also undergoes quite important development at this point in time. And by the third trimester and around week 40, the baby measures around 18 to 20 inches once again and can weigh anywhere between 6 to 9 pounds or more at times. And at this point, the baby is considered full term and ready for delivery. There are some emotional changes also that occurs during this phase, as it's really difficult to know the exact number of or exact emotional changes that the baby goes through inside the womb, but few of them that are known already are, the response to external stimuli that we discussed in the second trimester also. So now the baby has heightened senses once again, and they are more developed than the second trimester, and the baby continues to react to the external environment and to any kind of sounds, light, and even touch. So they might be even able to respond to familiar voices and calming music. So if the mother continues to listen to some calming music or mantras or devotional songs or whatever she relates to or connects to, the baby may be able to familiarize itself inside the womb itself, and then the baby is born. Playing the similar kind of music might create a sense of familiarity for the baby and continues to calm down the baby even after birth. Now, sense of comfort and discomfort. So baby's ability to feel physical sensation might influence their emotional state, and they could react to discomfort or respond positively to soothing movements or interactions, and vice versa. So they could react negatively to any negative movements or jerks or anything else, etc. Now, mother's influence is another thing. So, throughout the third trimester, the baby can become more attuned to the mother's emotional state, and hormonal cues and biochemical signals might contribute to sense of connection and emotional bonding at this point in time. So, coming on to the important point to remember during this phase. So first would be pelvic floor exercises. So engaging in the pelvic floor exercises at this point in time becomes very crucial to support the pelvic health, to support the pelvic floor strength, stability, and preparing the muscles for the labor and delivery. Gentle stretches at this point in time are also very good and to elevate any kind of discomfort and to maintain flexibility for the mother. But at the same point in time, we need to avoid any extreme stretches that could strain the muscles. We can continue to practice breathing techniques to manage stress, reduce anxiety, and also increase the oxygen flow for both mother and baby at this point in time. We can focus on more of pelvic opening asanas, and we can focus on poses that encourage pelvic opening, and this will also help with any discomfort in the pelvic region and release any tensions, and also will promote the baby to come into a perfect optimal position for delivery. But there is a caveat here where in different certain medical conditions we have mentioned when not to practice pelvic opening asana, so that you can refer into specific medical conditions, or when you go into asana series, each posture explains when to practice and when not to practice. So those guidelines are given there. Then focusing more on relaxation poses, wherein we are practicing more of restorative poses, maybe shavasanas, and more on child pose, etc. And any postures that is more relaxing, we can focus there. Then mothers really need to continue to listen to their bodies at this point in time. And so what we can do is encourage mothers to really be aware of their each movement while they are practicing asanas, and specifically during transitions when they are getting up or going down. While doing all those activities, we need to see that mothers' bodies are absolutely in comfort zone and they are not jerking at any point in time, and transitions are slow and steady. So next would be, creating that intention and focus for the practice. So setting the intentions are crucial role. Setting intention plays a very crucial role in the yoga and otherwise also in life. So what we can really continue to focus on here is deepening the connection between mom and the baby. And we can continue to encourage moms to, focus on practicing more of those practices, even when they are not in yoga class, that enhance their bond with the baby. So we can remind them to be mindful of their movements, be aware of the breath, and continue to use yoga nidra or guided meditations to form a more deep bond with the baby. We can also request them to embrace the breath as an anchor. So breathing techniques becomes increasingly vital during this phase, and we can encourage the mothers to rely on their breath as an anchor and help them manage their physical demands of their changing body, and also potential anxiety that might come up with the nearing of their delivery date. And continuing to cultivate the inner strength. So the third trimester can bring a lot of physical discomfort and also emotional changes at the same time. So really asking the mothers to focus on the poses that will enhance their inner strength and resilience both mentally and physically. We can help them through those poses to prepare for labor and delivery. Now, this is a time when we want to focus on preparing for the birth. So, as the due date is approaching, we need to integrate poses that will promote optimal fetal position, to bring the baby's head down towards the cervical opening, and so hence also at the same point in time we need to ensure the relaxation also. So what we can do is we can include hip opener asanas, squatting, all that, also pelvic opening asanas, and also asanas that continues to elevate tension from the lower back. As the curve is getting deeper, the lower back curve is getting deeper. So all that is required, but at the same time, point in time, frequent rest in between asanas is also required. So we need to create a very right combination for moms to have the right practice, but at the same time, point in time, they're never overexerted at any point in time. Now, focusing on nurturing themselves and self-care. So really encouraging moms to prioritize their self-care through relaxation practices like prenatal meditations, and they can continue to practice restorative poses even at home, and we can remind them to take care of themselves, their well-being and their baby's well-being at all point in time. So just focusing their attention there more often will be really required and helpful both for the mom and the baby. Now, continuing to practice gratitude at this point in time, and maintaining a mindset of gratitude becomes very crucial at this stage as they are approaching the delivery time, and we need to really remind them that their body's strength and resilience will be maintained throughout their pregnancy, and since they have been practicing well, they have been focusing on their health, so this will act as a key or support to their delivery journey. So we need to really remind them to be thankful for whatever is happening to their body and all the strength that they have had during this phase to carry the baby, and to keep up that positive outlook even for the future, that whatever will happen in the future will be in resonance and coherence with the divine will. So keeping that in mind and just being thankful for the past, for the present, and for the future. So that practice is really great at this point in time. Now, just quick journal tools and guidelines for the yoga practice. So once again, continue to avoid any kind of back bends. We can avoid camel pose also at this point in time, but you can still do half camel without putting strain to the complete body. Those are guided in the detailed asana posture. So we can do camel postures like camel postures for the back bends, but with the modification. So certain deep back bends like wheels are completely no, and we don't practice wheel postures. Though there are photos on internet everywhere that women do practice wheel posture even during pregnancy, but that can be really harmful for the baby during any phase, whether it's first trimester, second trimester, third trimester. Even though women who have a good previous practice, still from our side that is not recommended at any point in time, because it can put a lot of strain or lower back, and we may not even ever get to know what kind of or in which moment it can be too strenuous for lower back and can cause any injury. So we want to avoid any kind of injury at any point in time. So we do not opt for any kind of inversions like wheel or shoulder stands or headstands. All of that we do not recommend during the prenatal phase. Now coming on to poses like camel, so that can be done through modification, like only one hand going back, etc. So modifications are suggested, but we need to stop all those poses that can put any kind of strain on the abdominal region or on the baby, or hamper baby's positioning at this point in time. We also need to modify forward bends slightly as the baby has grown, and even standing forward fold should be modified to accommodate the body's changing shape. And we can use props like chair, etc., or wall support whenever needed. We can focus on hip opener asanas at this point in time, and hip opening postures like butterfly, wide leg forward fold, happy baby pose can elevate a lot of pressure from the pelvic area and can also encourage flexibility. Now, gentle twist postures also needs to be done very carefully at this point in time, and we need to keep focusing on the fact that we need to accommodate the baby, and we are never putting extra pressure on the abdominal muscles at any point in time. Those slight twisting can help relieve back tension and enhance digestion, but that also needs to be done with a lot of caution and care. Now, pranayama remains as a very crucial element here, and we need to continue to practice gentle breathing, deep belly breathing, ujjayi pranayama, victorious breath, which is victorious breath, which can be very effective for relaxation and also be very effective practice for the labor. So we have to continue to encourage moms to practice pranayama every single day to manage their stress also and to stay balanced and centered. We need to continue to avoid breath retention, and breath retention is not advised during any of the trimesters in pregnancy, because it can cause a lot of discomfort and strain both on the mom and babies. Now, we can also encourage moms to continue to use a lot of mantras at this point in time to maintain a positive mindset and reinforce the bond with the baby and foster a sense of calmness and connection. We have to continue to avoid most bandhas at this point in time also, though we can use Mula Bandha or root lock to help strengthen our pelvic muscles. Any kind of kriyas that are usually practiced in yoga otherwise, like neti, etc., are not recommended at this point in time, and we need to continue to avoid all yoga kriyas like neti, etc., shaman kriyas. So all those kriyas are not recommended at this point in time. With that, I really hope this contributed and this helped in your understanding for the mothers in the third trimester, and this will be a very powerful tool for you to continue to support the mothers in their pregnancy as well as in childbirth journey. With that, thank you and namaste.